welcome, and thank you for joining us for episode 10 of the GSS Jamaica Industry Hour podcast. I'm your host, Egbert von Frankenberg, CEO of Nightbox App Design, and in this episode, we will discuss the topic, The Future is Now, the rise of AI in Jamaica and across the world. We'll dive in and have a candid discussion about the global rise of AI and its impact and implications for Jamaica and local businesses. Joining me today in this discussion are my special guests, Adrian Dunkley, Yanni Epstein, and Alejandra Castillo. And let me introduce you to our panel right away. And I'm starting off with Alejandra. She's a Colombian engineer, 26 years old, and born and raised in Bogota with a passion for innovation. She's currently working as the RPA developer at ITEL and is eagerly looking to expand her skill set. Alejandra is now training in the field of artificial intelligence as part of the AI team at ITEL International. Her strong advocacy for diversity and feminine inclusion in the technology community sets her apart and makes her a valuable asset to the industry. Welcome, Alejandra.
Welcome. Thank you for letting me be here today.
And my next guest is Adrian Dunkley. He's the founder and CEO of StarApple AI, which is Jamaica's first data science and AI firm. In addition, he currently serves as the president of the Jamaica Technology and Digital Alliance. And Adrian is passionate about using data science and AI to solve problems. He has enjoyed senior level roles across multiple fields throughout his career, and including finance, retail, marketing, risk management, and compliance. The constant throughout his professional journey has been his drive for knowledge, collaboration, respect, creativity, and taking actions based on data-informed and driven insights and the domain experience. Welcome, Adrian.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
And of course, last but not least, Yanni Epstein. He's the CEO and founding chairman of ITEL International, an international customer experience provider with over 15 industry awards and 15 facilities across the Caribbean, Latin America, and the USA. He's a bold and influential leader in the BPO industry, and he has developed and expanded over 500,000 square feet of purpose-built contact center space across the region and invested millions in growing and engaging corporate culture that provides job opportunities with continuous learning and career advancement for thousands of people. Listed among the 50 most influential executives in Latin America and the Caribbean region, he actively drives policy improvements and private-public sector collaboration to strengthen and position the nearshore as the outsourcing destination of choice. Welcome, Yanni. Nice to have you.
Thank you. Welcome. Good to be here.
All right. So let me start off and give a little introduction of what we're discussing today. We're speaking about AI, and in this age of digital transformation, the landscape of AI technology has definitely been increasingly influential and persuasive. AI has evolved from being a theoretical concept to a key driver of innovation and competitive advantage across multiple industries. Sectors like healthcare, finance, transport, and retail all have seen AI becoming an instrumental part of streamlining processes, personalizing experiences, and improving decision-making throughout predictive analysis. However, alongside these advancements, ethical and regulatory considerations have become paramount with concerns related to privacy, transparency, and AI bias, and which are now gaining prominence. So those are some of the pros and cons that we can just quickly sum up on the field of AI. And there's ongoing development in the field, which is a testament to the accelerated pace of digital transformation, not just in the world, but also in our region. So therefore, I want to start off by just bringing this broad topic down to where we are in this industry sector. So my first question is for Adrian and Alejandra. You can answer one at a time. And the question is, how has AI transformed the IT sector in the GSS industry? And how has it transformed how people are doing business and how people will be doing business? Adrian, if you want to go first.
Sure. So the big value proposition of AI has been improving processes, making things a lot easier. And a big thing is in regards to recommendation. So recommending products, services, approaches, pretty much anything that'll save you time figuring out the best thing to do in a specific situation. And the value of AI has been pretty much it's not specific in terms of the value in one industry. It can benefit any particular industry because what it's doing is it's taking our data and our expertise, automating processes, making things a lot easier and quicker to do, and hopefully safer. That's really the big one that we're trying to push on. So for IT specifically, the big advancement now is streamlining how we develop applications and how we understand our customers. So I'm definitely of the belief that it's not gonna fully replace human beings. We definitely still need developers, we still need project managers, but it can make individuals in these roles a lot more effective at what they do on a consistent basis. And you can get things done a lot cheaper. That's a big thing as well. So you'll see auto ML, for instance, or auto-generated coding to support persons who don't have that expertise, and they're using that to develop applications. But that is if they're not able to build those applications properly or understand what they're doing in the first place, it doesn't matter how much AI they throw at it. It's going to be a crap project or a crap product that's outputted. But this allows them to do it a lot faster and a lot cheaper. So huge value in respect to that for persons who really want to develop good products and services.
Okay, thanks, Adrian. And Alejandra, from your perspective.
Okay, well, I think that artificial intelligence has transformed everything, and especially it will impact the IT industry. For example, by providing efficiency and optimizing processes, and of course, the ability to predict the future will enable us to make better business decisions. As Adrian mentioned, for example, in the development area, AI can assist the programmers in writing better code and detect issues faster during the initial phase of the development. So we will be able to, as Adrian mentioned, develop easily and faster applications for everyone. For example, the idea with the artificial intelligence is to collaborate humans with these automation processes to establish fluid processes. For example, in the customer service, we have virtual assistants that can handle like a easy request, and we can escalate to human agents when it's necessary. So it's like we have the possibility also to reduce repetitive tasks, and I think that that's one of the more important things of the artificial intelligence in the IT industry.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And a question for all three of you. AI has been viewed by many as a threat to certain industries, and one that will disrupt the global services sector. What are your thoughts on this topic and the discussion that is actually quite frequently being brought into the media as well? Will the disruption be good or bad for the growth and the viability of the sector? And let me start off with Yanni for that one.
Thanks, Eggy. You know, I really find it interesting, and I kind of want to take a couple of seconds and go back to history. If you think about 5 years ago, when the advent of chatbots were brought to the industry, how this was going to change the face of the industry. This was going to change the face of agents. It was going to take call center jobs away, and so on and so forth. While chatbots are very much a part of the delivery model for companies, and many companies and clients of ours are finding and looking at ways to divert calls or traffic, or try and send somebody where they can work in the IVR and self-help themselves rather than getting to an agent, because at the end of the day, companies are looking to provide a service while reducing their cost, right? Everybody wants to provide a high level of service for the lowest possible cost, and that's where the industry has thrived over the years. And if I look back 5 years ago, and chatbots were coming into play, and then there was RPA, and then there was analytics, and all these technological advances that have come over the years, that have not, in fact, hurt the industry. They have, in fact, helped the industry. And it's been something that's effectively been a success, right? And it has allowed us as vendors to provide more value to our clients and their end users. And I very much so believe that, you know, with the advent of AI has been around forever, and now we move to the next step of generative AI. I believe that these are all opportunities. I don't believe these are threats, and I've said this uh, all along from back when chatbots started, and when IVR started in the 90s and then in the 80s. I think technological advances, as we've seen and the data shows, is that they do not remove jobs. There may be other opportunities as different places to put people, or they enhance the job that somebody is doing, but none of them have in fact eliminated jobs. So I've read a few quotes and read a lot of data information, done a lot of research on generative AI and AI in general. The quote that I love the best is, it's not the AI that's going to take the jobs, it's the people that are using the AI that's going to take your job. So this is totally 100% an opportunity for people in our space to take the technology, use it to the best of our ability to provide a more exemplary service to our customers and their end users. And I think that's the way forward for the technology. As Adrian said in his opening comments, you can't just take AI and plug it into something and think it's going to magically present, you know, amazing things. You've got to teach it, you've got to build it, you got to nurture it, and then it'll start to do what you want to do. So it's not just this silver bullet. If you don't use it right, it can become a very disastrous tool. But if you use it in the right way, you're going to provide some really cool services and use cases for your customers.
Okay. Adrian, from your perspective.
Yeah, I agree with Yanni on that. So this is my second AI hype bubble or hype wave. So the previous one was around 2012, 2013. That was more focused on B2B though. So what we're seeing now is really focused on B2C and the value. And that's definitely stemming from ChatGPT, just GPT tools in general, and generative AI. So I think the big thing with it is, if it's just throwing out problems, there's not really going to be any benefit to entities, companies, or your end user. With respect to the impact on GSS in general, I'm still kind of on the fence, right? So it could either be, as I said, disastrous in terms of people just trying to apply it inappropriately, which could be a huge benefit for us to come in and offer really value added curated services, still having AI, but also human intelligence and a human touch involved in processes. So we could jump in and really take advantage of the downside risk of person who's just trying to throw it at any particular problem. It'll definitely allow us to do a lot more with the same level of resources. So more market share internationally we could tap into, and an increase in the quality of service that we can actually jump on as well. So I'm overall pretty positive, but I'm definitely biased in respect to that. But at the same time, I'm saying, okay, well, there are instances where it could potentially offset certain jobs, but at the same time, the expectation is to increase more jobs and get more economic value out of it.
Okay. And Alejandro, from your point, what do you think?
Okay, well, I think that new technologies or new procedures are always seen as threats. So I think that, of course, we have to be careful with these new AI tools and AI technologies. But I think that they present us a new opportunity for us to focus in new studies, new scopes, in new careers. And I mean, it's an opportunity to change our mindset and start thinking differently. maybe to understand the real needs of the companies, as we already mentioned, to reduce all repetitive tasks. So now we can start using like the full capacity of us as employees and start doing things that actually matter and not those repetitive tasks. So I think it's a new opportunity. We have to be careful, of course, but I mean, it's not a threat.
Okay. All right. And Yanni, is Jamaica's largest homegrown BPO, and you partner with cloud-based platforms a few years ago, focusing on providing targeted and individualized training for your team. Tell us a little bit about the integration of your learning and development program and the impact that you've seen to date, and how it's affecting your ability to train your team more effectively.
Sure. So, again, you go back to the point about AI. I mean, we've been using AI in our business for some time in different areas. So, speaking on one of the areas specifically is training and development. And training and development doesn't stop at, I hire you, I train you on the client's platform, and then you go to work. So training and development comes in many different forms. Quality assurance is, one of the greatest forms to train and develop continuously of an individual to see, a better outcome. So we've been using, sentiment analysis and and and, analytics to determine what is happening on 100% of the calls. Whereas before, it's cost prohibitive to really do more than a couple calls per agent per week. So now, the platform that we're using, that's using speech analytics, effectively is recording 100% of the phone calls. It is providing us data on 100% of the phone calls, providing a sentiment analysis as to what is happening between the customer and the agent. So, within 45 minutes after the call, we're actually getting a pile of data on 100% of the calls to be able to give us a better sample size as to, the customer satisfaction, how calls are handled, if it is a call that carries high compliance, are we being compliant 100% of the times in the job functions that we're supposed to be doing. All of those things are much easier to analyze. And then what we do from there is we pop it into our learning development platforms, which then uses artificial intelligence in the background to determine, who needs additional training. And it'll pop up on the screen and, push them into do while they're having a break time, or, on their own personal time, or waiting between calls. They can sit on their desktop, they're in the platform, and it says, I need to push you some training stuff as to how to overcome objections on selling a package, for argument's sake. And it'll predetermine questions because we built all of the clients' learning material in the knowledge base, right? So it'll push questions to the agent. The agent answers. They'll say, it'll ask you, how confident are you? Very confident, somewhat confident, not confident. If you say very confident and your answer is correct, it'll move on to another question and keep moving you up the value chain to get you to where they want you to. Or if you say somewhat, it may ask you a similar question in a different manner until you feel more confident. And if you're less confident, it just keeps building you. So the AI knows where to push you based upon your response as well as the answer that you create. So those are tools, some of the tools that we're using from a learning and development perspective today. And we're seeing CSAT or quality assurance score lifts from anywhere from 5 up to a max of 10% in our output to our clients. So at the end of the day, 5 to 10% of your customers are seeing a higher output and saying they're getting a better service because of some of these tools that we're using today. Or not just today, but for the last several years.
All right, Yanni, thank you very much. That was very informative on that topic, on the way how you handle your training through AI. That being said, coming to the final question, how do all of you see now the next 3 to 5 years changing, and how artificial intelligence will influence how new careers opportunities will emerge in this sector? Let me start with Alejandro on that one, especially being a developer in this field.
Okay, so I think that as we mentioned before, artificial intelligence will replace jobs that are highly repetitive. So this will also create new career opportunities. With AI, we know that we can now provide new goods and services, leading to an expansion of the sector capabilities. So the idea is to start training employees in these kind of capabilities or these kind of needs, because of course the companies will need employees to fulfill this kind of position. So in this matter, I think that currently all the companies should start sharing all the information to the employees, and need to offer the employees the opportunity to interact with AI tools, because I think that's a way to familiarize with themselves with the new artificial intelligence, and maybe reduce the all the fears associated with the new technologies. Because as soon as I know how it works, I will understand it better and I will start using it, and this will guide me to new career opportunities for me and for all the company.
Mhm. And Adrian, what do you think is going to happen?
So I'm expecting it to be so pervasive that it's no longer even considered AI. So imagine when you get on a plane, you don't really consider autopilot or auto assisted flight AI at this particular point. It's just normal. But with that said, regulatory requirements, policy developments, that's going to have to move extremely quickly to protect persons from the bad actors. But so ingrained in what we do on a day to day that we don't really consider it AI at this point. It's just a support tool in from a Microsoft Word to Excel to C++ to basically you going out to buy groceries. You get support from an AI shopper in real time, in real life as well, and connecting that to augmented reality, virtual reality, and other technological areas where we can actually see the benefits of these tools. So I'm overall pretty excited for what we're going to be able to achieve with it.
Okay. So Yanni, for you as well, the same question. And as a large employer in the region, I also want to add, if you could say a little bit about what you would say as guidance to someone going into the workplace, or what do you think should be, how should training be changed so that graduates are able to take advantage in the workspace?
So, I believe that, as you can see, a lot of the noise that we were hearing in the market has already started to die down. I think a lot of people are assessing what this is going to be, but I agree with Adrian. It's going to become just a part of life. Again, I still look at it as an opportunity. I think that in our business, we will use it more and more. Um, uh, do I believe it is a threat? Absolutely not. Again, I go back to my original point: is that you're not the jobs are not going to be lost because of AI. It's because of the person using AI. I think all of these technological advancements are coming towards us to make our businesses more efficient, provide greater services. But truthfully, at the end of the day, in any poll that you want to read that is done by any large consultancy firm, is over 70% of consumers want to talk to somebody when they have a complex situation to deal with. So I think that our goal as a business is to continue to invest into AI, to continue to invest into these technologies that are going to allow for us to be more efficient, provide a greater service, and at the end of the day, be a fulsome um, BP organization that's not just doing staff augmentation, but obviously has technology to help to advance clients and their needs as the years go on.
Okay, all right. Well, I think this is the end of our discussion today and our questions. So to recap, from what I've learned today is that we can definitely see that there are processes that are becoming a lot more efficient and cost effective through AI. And we can provide more value as a whole. And at the same time, as a team members, we should look at embracing AI as part of a tool that we work with rather than a tool that works against us. And I think what Yanni had said earlier, that it's not the AI that is taking the jobs, but those who use it. I think that's a great point to think about when we think about the fact of how AI is affecting our employment or our work life, right? All right. Any final thoughts from anybody? Anything you want to add at the end?
The only addition that I would add from my perspective, as a past chairman of the Global Skills Council that's been managing the global services sector project that you're now sitting in that capacity. The entire GSS industry has benefited from that, and I think as we continue to pivot and support people and support jobs of the future, is that we also pivot and look at technologies and tools and building our technology sector in Jamaica and region to be able to be a greater force to be reckoned with, because I think that's a deficiency that we have across the region as we are continuing to hire people in Colombia, where Alejandra is, and in Honduras, where we also are, and here in Jamaica. Is that skill set, I find there's a huge deficiency, and that's something that we need to build in the schools from an earlier stage to continue to build that skill set, because we really need to see successes out of that, and that's what will help more advantages, technological advantages happen, and allow companies to move a lot faster when we have more people with those skill sets around.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? No?
Yeah. So
Okay.
quickly add that at this point in time, because of the impact it's going to have on our society, parents, guardians, individuals that have kids should really be looking on teaching them how to use these tools from the get-go. So imagine being able to use a calculator versus doing by hand arithmetic. So they need to become familiar with it and need to use it responsibly, to not just use it to copy, but to support whatever it is they're going to do for our profession. So either it's technical or non-technical, artistic or scientific, they need to start using these tools very quickly so that they're very comfortable, because there's a lot of value professionally as well as personally to tap into these tools to save time and achieve your overall objectives.
Okay. All right. Alejandra, anything from you? No? All right. Well, I want to thank our listeners and viewers today for being part of this podcast. Follow the global services sector social media on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. And if you have any questions, of course, for the podcast, anything that you would like additional feedback on, or maybe you have any topics that you want us to discuss next time, please send an email to communications_gss@jamprocorp.com. I want to thank everybody who was on the panel today. Thank you for your time, and appreciate everybody for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.